procurement and construction. But design itself can be divided into several stages. Further, because it is very complicated system. I will explain a little bit more about this. Anyway, this one, so EPC is in these days a single contract and contracted by such as big engineering company such as Hyundai or Samsung maybe. They contract as a EPC contractor. So they after making a contract, they do their own design. But this design is for, we call this is a production design. Design for production. The final stage of design. After that, they start production. So it's more detailed design. Every single pieces of members of the plant should be decided, fixed. But before then, there is another stage of design called FEED. So FEED is just in front of this stage, and then this design is done by another company, usually by engineering company such as Technic. And the money is coming from the owner, the oil major companies. They pay money to design. Say something like you can expect you are trying to build your home, and you need to have a design. Or who can do that design of your home? It depending on the case and also the money you are available. But if the house or kids, let's say as a small building, you're trying to build your small building because you have some money, then usually you go to a design office to ask them to build, to make a drawing of that building, design. There is similarly looks like this one for small building. But if you think about building like a Lotte World, is it Lotte World? 100 storage in Seoul, then it is more complicated than big one. They may have a different stage of design stages, several stages. But for a small building, you do. But your idea should be included in the design of your building. Okay? How many floors and which style is made of steel plate outside or made of stone covered, or and inside how many rooms, or big room, small room, what kind of usage it should be used by each floor and rooms. That is decided by yourself. The owner, operator. Then design office discuss with the owner and then make a rough design of their contract design. And that contract design, the FEED result, can be used as to find out the people who will construct the building. And we call the EPC contract. But as an EPC contractor, can be a small construction company in Daejeon. If I try to build small building inside Daejeon, I have already drawing for that small building, and then I need to find out not small, but construction company who can build my building. Okay? But somehow I found that the money and schedule can be very important. I never told it. But anyway, I have a contract finalized with that construction company. Then the construction company needs to see the drawing coming from the design office. And then they understand and they need to do some little more work for their construction. Because usually they have a different kind of facilities, resources, machines, something like a crane. There can be a crane but the company does not have crane, they need to rent, or they may, because it is not big building, they decide to not use crane. So depending on such as resources, their design, the actual production design should be modified. And also, they need to buy materials, concrete, and pipe, and cables, and bulbs, and desks, and depending on the buyers, the suppliers of that kind of material, the detailed design, production design should be adjusted, just modified. Yet we can say this is a engineering. Don't buy this EPC. Life cycle of this is subsea system rather than but very similar. This is, we can say, subsea systems. This is, looks like FPSO. This is, looks like land-based chemical plant. Another offshore plant, but it is different style. Semi-submersible looks like that. But they start from here. Concept screening, feed, and detail here. And between them, there should be a contract between EPC company and the owner of project, or design company, or technical. The contract should be here. And detail design, or you can say engineering, EPC, engineering, and procurement, and construction. But here you need to have a whole project management. Project management is simply scheduling. The scheduling also includes resource investment. I see. Resource means basically the facilities and human power and money also. The kind of management should be done together with time scale. That is main work of project management. So it should be cover the whole process inside the company or and construction and installation. Then EPC work is finished here. So that the handover is the plant is finished. The small building I want to build is already built, finished. Then the building should be handed over to myself. Right? Finally, I need to pay big money to the construction company. Right? Then contract is finished. That is a handover. And then operation and management and refitting and decomposition is the final stage. After, say, 100 years later or 30 years later, the building can be rebuilt also, or the ocean plant should be destroyed. There is a usual stages of life cycle. This is another similar process, but in terms of supplier of equipment for that plant. Let's say engine builder, engine maker, for a car or for a ship, engine maker. It is also another big company. They make engine, big diesel engine, right? But they need to have a contract with the EPC, such as Samsung Heavy, to sell their engine. So for them, it is similar procedure of equipment supply. They need design engine, and then they also need to buy some material for engines, and then make the engine, manufacturing and shipping, delivery the engine to the Samsung Heavy industry. That engine should be installed to a ship. The installation. And then this construction means the whole ship or whole plant construction, not manufacturing. So it's similar but different. Manufacturing and also Manufacturing means something like the small machinery. Right? So construction is something like a building and plant or ship. So the engine should be one of the components of the ship or plant. They call it construction. After construction of the ship, you need to inspect the whole ship also, but also the inspection of the engine too. Whether the engine is working normally, because there are connections to other parts inside the ship. And final handover. That handover should be another handover by the EPC company. So this one is a major handover of the engine, but final handover should be this. So there are probably, this is not my guess, it is not my guess. The money of engine should be more than half, 50% should be paid by after shipping and delivery installation. So another say 30% can be given to me, to the engine maker, after all handles. That is the way the system is. Now, there are more free work for feed, right? It is here. Front end engineering design. And then after feed, usually we have a contract process to EPC company. Before feed, there is a pre-feed. And also there is another phase of planning phase. And who is doing that work? Usually do by this company means oil majors, owner of it. Okay? And this one is contractor for design, or rather, so such as a technique. And then maybe it can be done by same contractor, or sometimes it can be another designer. So it depending on the situation. But anyway, so it is separation. There is a date, objective, context, and deliverable. You see that there is a post estimation. Post estimation is very important, right? If I want to build my small building, money is very important. How much money should be cost to me? Right? I want to make a very nice five floor building because I have already land in Daejeon. Right? I want to build very nice one, good one, but it depends on my budget. Right? So budget and cost estimation is very important. But see, at the early stage, we cannot do exact estimation pricing. So that the error range can be big in the early stage of it. But here you need to have a contract signed with the construction company or EPC company. At that time, you should be very near the cost, but still there is an error. Should be error, right? Because it is before construction. But anyway, two sides is estimating each other. The construction company also do their own estimation. Myself also do estimation. Then there should be a negotiation, right? Negotiation. Then finally we agree to make a contract side. There is the way. So that this one is very important. Also, another one important one is schedule. How long it will take to build my building? Takes 1 year or 6 months. It is important. Same story to big project. Design spiral. It looks like it's a shape is spiral. There is a famous in large system design. And also the closed system. Anyway, for the ship, we start from here and then go on to different domains. And the second time, twice, and 3 times, and then finally arrive at final design. there is the diagram shows. Domain means naval architecture, structural design, engineering, propulsion machinery, auxiliary systems such as boiler, piping, steam, heating, ventilation, electrical system, and outfit. Outfit is also here. Auxiliary system maybe then separate out into such as a generator, boiler, such as machines. Not main engine, but similar to main engine, but there are many small devices. Outfitting is mainly for a piping and also hotel facility and also other small things like a desk and lighting. And also, so one cycle of design done by several domain of expert, and then second round to make a more detailed one. But why we do such as iteration of design? Because there are so many differences and also different viewpoints from different domains, so that they have a dependencies. Something like, let me explain this way. I'm trying to design an airplane. So I decide to have first the engine size, and then it says, let me say 10,000 horsepower. And then we do structural design and sizing and shaping and so forth. After that, we estimate weight and also speed. Then we found that 10,000 horsepower is not enough to make my intended speed for the airplane. Then I need to increase the size of the engine. Okay? Then what happens? The engine size is increased, then the weight of engine is increased, right? And then the size and volume is increased. Then the wing should be structurally need to have more weight, sustain more weight. Then you need to increase the thickness of the structural part. Then it gives you another increase of weight, right? Then you need more power to get the speed. That's why we need to have an iteration of this to make more detail, because things are changing for each domain. Also, I explained a closed system, such as airplane and ship. Closed system has more dependency on between subsystems than open system like a building. For a building, the dependency is low. If I increase the size of the boiler at the basement, but structurally there is little influence. Right? We can neglect that influence of increasing the size of the boiler at the basement in a building. Right? Or if I want to increase the water consumption of building, because I transform this building to, say, swimming pool something. Then you need to have a bigger pipe system to make water incoming and outgoing. That change gives you less change to other parts of the group. That is the characteristics of open system. Open system means they have the boundaries connected to others outside. The closed system is integrated. The boundary is more closed. Right? So, something like airplane. Right? The inside you should have an independent feature from the outside. In that case, you need to have more dependency between subsystems and domains. So you need to have a iteration of it. Mustang, old Mustang. This is very old style. Say probably 50 years ago. Now the Mustang is very fancy. But I'm trying to show you this part of the engine food. That's it. 50 years ago, that has happened. They make that kind of Mustang for several years, and also they I can say the notorious name, but they make this one as a propaganda special shape. But it is coming because of the engine size. Engine was big, so but they found that in later stage that engine cannot be covered by the engine room. So it is unexpected change of shape of this part because engine was protrude. There is dependence and then cooperation between engine department and engine room arrangement department or sizing and also shaping. Because for a car, most long lead item, as I explained before, long lead item, it takes a long time to make is the skin of the car. Because the skin of the car, how do you make? It's press made with a very thin steel plate. Thin slip. Thin means 0.2 millimeter. Something like that. Thin plate, steel plate, but big machine is pressing them, and one single door plate is made by one single step. Mass production. But this part, the press part, we call this is a mold. Mold is very heavy. How heavy is it? Tons of metals. Pressing. So this design should have a same shape of this one. So there's a skin design is very important for automotive industry because it takes, say, 1 year or something like that to make this piece of mold. That's why the design is fixed well before the engine is fixed. There is scheduling for it. But anyway, they need to have an iteration of and collaboration between departments. Same design spiral, but it's a little bit detailed. Right? So this way we go another counterclockwise. And also this one is drawn for the military ships. So the wording, the terminology is a little bit different. Almost roughly same. Mission requirement for the Navy ship, mission. And propulsion and preliminary powering, so engine powering. Because for Navy ship or airplane, speed is very important. Because it's fighting each other. Enemy vessel, enemy airplane, speed is important. That's why the powering is and line and body plan means the outer shape of the ship. Hydrostatic calculation, the volume calculation of the outer skin. We call this a hull form. And then floatable length. It's complicated. We will explain in the later part of the semester. Arrangement inside the arrangement is which room division, floor division, and then where is the machine room, where is the restaurant, where is the bedroom arrangement. Structure, this is structure. Right? Structure. there's a pillar, big pillar over there, structural engineering, and powering again, weight estimation, and capacity volume estimation, and stability again, and then finally cost estimation. The second cycle, third cycle, fourth cycle. Call this is a concept design phase. And second one, the preliminary design phase, and then concept design phase, and detail design phase. For the Navy ship. Here, this one is same as a feed in ocean plant I explained. After feed, there should be a contract with a shipbuilding company. So inside the shipbuilding company, they need to have a detailed design for production. So this one is done by right. So design spiral, if I open up this spiral into a single line, rolling up single line, then gives you this kind of drawing like this. The stages. First stage, second stage, third stage. Where is all design? Feed, and detail design. Detail design is done by British company. So this is investment final decision. So the contract is done here. And then it goes to EP, construction, and commissioning is testing, and initial operation, test operation, and then delivery. Yes, so this one is for the EPC company work inside there. The contract here and then contract finished. The handover to owner operator. Right. So that is for underwater technology, Australian. What else? Oh, the curves. The influence curve and also project cost curve. At the beginning, there is an early design stage. There is not so big money. Only engineering company. Brains are working. Brains are working. And computer is working. But money is not so big. Human salary subsidy and computing. But after that, when construction started, you need to buy equipment and materials and building, assembly. So big money is spent here. Right? And then operation. But influence means influence to make a good product, good plant should be done at the early stage. If something is wrong at the beginning, then final work can be not good. If the designer is very good at the early stage, then the final product can be good. But also at the later stage of design or construction, you cannot have influence on changes. So that you may expect like this one. They found the problem at the later stage of the automotive industry company. So they don't have time to reconcile the situation. So they just finish up because they don't have time to change. Right. Another similar drawings. Viewpoint. So key product activities, front end and second stage, third stage, fourth stage, and final stage, stages. Front end loading, product execution planning, risk opportunity, operational readiness, management. But here they want to show you the influence curves like this one. Good project definition at the early stage those you finalize in the first stage, the value. The poor project definition in early stage, then goes in this way. Value is low. Right? And also, there is a good person who tries to improve in later stage. Something like a company such as Samsung Heavy, the EPC contractor. They try to have a good designer there. They want to improve the system in the later stage after contract, but small difference. So in the early stage of design, good design is important, as you can do in your career as an engineer. And picture and bigger illustration. Oh, and video. Point cloud rather than this is comfortable. And but I want to show you at this point. This is not a computer graphics model. This is a point cloud from laser scanning. Leica is a company of camera, right? And they sell laser scanning devices. And then that device gives you this kind of, this one is that Leica laser scanning device. Okay, rotating and scanning, real plane. And that this one is result of laser scanning. So it looks like a black and white scanning result. And nowadays they do in color. They just scan color, high resolution. The resolution looks good, right? Better than the later part of computer graphics. But computer graphics also can be very more detailed, but depending on their modeling input or label. If you want, this is just a piece of polygons. Piece of polygons or software type. But coloring and shading, and you can make it more realistic. But it takes also time to make it then more realistic. Something like Disney work, they do much work to make the scene, the computer graphics, into looks like more realistic scene. So for the engineering company, they do not do such a big work for making them very realistic, because they have a very small budget and also time limit. So that they make modeling as much as required. not so details, but the scanning is good. But nowadays more scanning is and done after construction. Right. Okay, next slide. Same, similar as previous. The gate, decision gate, decision gate. And identify, assess, select, define, execute, operate. In the usual case of work as we do, right? And feed. It is there are so many critical points of budgeting and decisions. Good. That's it.